Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. So let us start our day with a quick recap of Bhakti Yoga. Like we could not join last week, so let's have a quick recap. Yeah, nice to see some hands raised. Let's start with Devika Mataji. So other devotees, please look into your notes, be ready. I will randomly pick few names. Yes,
Hare
Devika
Krishna
Mataji, you
Prabhuji.
can start.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So we, in our last session, we started our session by discussing what is bhakti, how to perform bhakti, and then how we can continue bhakti, and then what is the ultimate purpose of performing the bhakti. So bhakti is nothing but devotional service, not just the devotion. And bhakti should be performed without any desires or any expectations of the material gain. Anya abhilashita shunyam. That's how our mind should be. That we are not expecting in return anything in return from Krishna. And the easiest way to perform bhakti is by engaging all your material senses in the service of the Lord, like cooking for Him. If when you get up, you are waking up for Krishna, you are driving for Krishna, you are eating for Krishna, you are dressing up for Krishna. That's how it should be. But it is not very easy. To engage all the material senses in that way because our material senses are not purified. So our acharyas has given us the simplest solution to this is by chanting the holy names. That's how one can begin the bhakti. And then the next step was how we can continue to perform bhakti, because starting something is very easy, but maintaining it and continuing that thing is very difficult. So to perform the bhakti till our last breath is by performing 6 actions, again as performed by our acharyas. So number one is enthusiasm. First we should have enthusiasm, then only we can begin something, and then we should endeavor with confidence, patience, and then we have to follow the 4 regulatory principles and act accordingly. We have to live by following we have to stick to the 4 regulatory principles and then perform all our actions accordingly. And then fifth one is abandoning the association of non-devotees. Association is very important, but at the same time, abandoning the association of non-devotees is even more important, because why we want to waste our time in following why we want to waste our time in following something that following the people or being with people that we don't want to do. And then the last one is following the footsteps of our acharyas. Um, and then we also discussed, Prabhuji, like different ways of remembering Lord, Bhagwan Swarup, Paramatma Swarup, Bhagwan Swarup. And then how bhakti yogis versus impersonalists, uh, like 3 different kinds of people, how they perform the devotional services, how their own ways to reach Krishna. Oh, sorry, Prabhuji, I missed one point. So, like, why ultimately we do bhakti is so that we can serve dasa, anudasa, anudas. Uh, and then remembering the Bhagwan Swarup is the most important when it comes to aiming for attaining him. So by other forms, it can be a bit challenging. We have to follow the yoga ladder, and then it's like taking steps versus directly taking an elevator. That's how we can achieve the Lord. And then um, we also discussed about yukta vairagya. So doing everything for Krishna and for the pleasure of Lord is nothing but yukta vairagya. We discussed 3 E's to gain the mercy of the Lord. That's enthusiasm, eagerness to serve the Lord, and then endeavors, and then enthusiasm till the end. And one very beautiful point I love the most from last session, Prabhuji, is what is a real jnana. So knowing Krishna, you mentioned about Prabhupada and one devotee who wanted to get initiation, and then everyone was like, "Oh, he's so new to Krishna consciousness." But then Prabhupada was like, "Okay, I'm going to ask you 2 questions. So number one is, who is Krishna?" And then the devotee said that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And then Prabhupada is like, your next question is, who are you? And then the devotee said that, I'm nothing but his eternal servant. And then Prabhupada was like, okay, you are initiated. So summary is, Gyan is nothing but knowing the position of Krishna and our position. That is the ultimate essence of all the scriptures, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Having said this, Gyan is knowing Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and be as the eternal servant of Krishna. So I want to go one step further. Gyan is this. What is Vignan? Anybody? It's open question to the team or the participants. Gyan is knowing
Vijnan
the
is
position of the Lord and us. What is Vignan? That is, what is realization? Yeah.
establishing it by experiment, showing it with proof, Prabhu.
Yeah. Any further answer?
Prabhuji, so
Yes.
I can try, Prabhuji. Vidyan is nothing but what is already known, just rediscovering the same thing, which is already there, which is already a truth, but just rediscovering it is Vidyan.
Okay, any more answers?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
I'm looking for a very simple answer. Many times we try to give very sophisticated answer. There is a very simple answer to this, so that
Realizing that we are the servant of the Lord.
yeah, that is Gyan. So what is Vignan? What is next step?
Application, Prabhu.
Yes. So application of this Gyan. What is that? To engage in devotional service. You have all the Gyan in the world, but if you're not engaging in devotional service, what is the point? So that is Vignan. Right? Good. Nice, Mataji. Very nicely summarized. Let me see if we can just pick couple of names. Voluntarily, anybody else wish to come forward and add any new points other than one who has raised the hands? Praveen K. Prabhuji, you want to add anything from our last class or anything you liked?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
I'm unable to speak, just landed at 3 a.m. My voice and this one is.
Okay, no problem, Prabhuji. Shivakumar Prabhu, you want to add?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Try to add something which Mataji has not told yet, so that we give opportunity for a couple of other devotees and then we can move ahead.
Yes, Prabhu. I will add only one point. Prabhu, chapter number 12 started with the Arjuna question whether personalists are good or impersonalists.
Yes.
Krishna answered the path chosen by impersonalists is troublesome.
Yes.
Whereas it is for impersonalists, it is easier and easier path and joyful path. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Good point. Shanti Sudesh Mataji, you want to add?
Yes, Prabhu. You gave this analogy of the person swimming, an expert swimmer in the ocean.
Yeah.
He may be good at swimming. The impersonalists are like that. They know the theory, but they do not have the direction. Like they don't know which way to swim, so eventually they drown.
Correct.
But the Bhakti Yogis are like the ones who surrender to the Lord, so the Lord takes care of him. He comes on his Garuda Vahana to personally rescue them.
Very nice analogy you brought in, Mataji. Very good. See, this is why I ask devotees to contribute so that it will help all of us. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Neha Jindal Mataji, you want to add?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Most of the points, actually every point is covered, but I will just try to add a few points
Yes.
that we discussed in Shloka 12.2, like how devotees are most perfect as their minds are fixed upon Krishna's personal form,
Yes.
and they worship the Lord with transcendental faith, and they're always engaged, and all the actions that they perform, they are also not material because they do everything for Krishna, and the principle of Yukta Vairagya Uchyate. And in this way, a pure devotee is in full samadhi because he is constantly engaged in Krishna's service. And then, as Mataji said, 3 EM formula you discussed, and then you discussed analogy of your analogy of favorite sweet to describe Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhakti Yoga. And the conclusion was that Bhakti Yoga is topmost, and we derive ultimate happiness by practicing Bhakti Yoga. And also, it is conclusion of every chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Uh, and then we discussed about deity worship. Like deity worship is not idol worship, and the analogy was of mailbox. And to worship Archa Vigra, we just have to, it's a very simple and easy process. With love, we have to offer Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, and Krishna manifests himself in Archa Vigraha. And so, path of impersonalism is very difficult, whereas a path of Krishna consciousness is completely natural. And we need to surrender to Krishna. Various references were given, like Krishna's to Bhagwan's from how he is God, and various other references also. The last point was that Krishna says, I am the swift deliverer from ocean of birth and death. So when we serve with sincerity, Krishna gives us intelligence to progress. That was Dadami Buddhi Yogam. And as Mataji discussed analogy of expert swimmer and how Krishna takes devotees uh, riding on Garuda Deva. So devotees attain all the benefits what other yogis get, and above that they attain prema. So it is most practical, and devotees are never at a loss. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mataji. Good beginning to our session. In fact, though there is a gap, you all have recollected very nicely, and we can move further. Before starting our class, couple of announcements which I want to make. One is Kalpana Mataji has shared one Bhakti Step registration link that captures all our details right from level 1 till now. So hope you all have already registered. Request you to register to this. So that gives a very updated database of all the devotees practicing Krishna consciousness under ISKCON Bangalore, and all further progress we can monitor through this data. So that is one important thing. Request all devotees to complete. If not done, please do it. Kirti Mataji or Kalpana Mataji, anybody, if they can share that registration link in the chat box. Anybody who have not done can do it right away before end of the session. So
Yes, Prabhuji, I'll do it. Hare Krishna.
yeah, so this is one important thing. Second, which I wanted to tell is regarding our, we are completing module 2. So the closed book exam will come maybe, what I'm thinking is 2 weeks from now. So we are on 2nd, maybe on 16th, we can plan to have this exam. What I was thinking is if I'm traveling and not able to attend, then you can utilize this time, or if I'm available, then is it okay? We can have this session from 8:30 to 10. We'll continue our class, and then 10 to 11 we can have this exam. Can devotees extend 1 hour after this class?
Prabhuji,
Yes,
please do it on a day when you don't have class, because otherwise the time is very long
Yeah,
and there
now,
are other things to do.
yeah. Now I don't know when I'm traveling, Mataji. My traveling schedule is very, very uncertain. So I may be there, I may not be there. I still not sure. So 16, 2 weeks from now, we will plan to have this session. So
Prabhuji, Prabhuji, can we do it 1 week later on the, because 16th I'm also traveling. I may not be able to take the exam.
Okay, we
Or
will
I
share
do
the
not know,
poll
maybe
in
1
the
week later,
group.
or otherwise I can give it.
Yeah, what we will do is we will share the poll in the group. maybe 16th or 23rd. And secondly, should this be done between 8:30 to 10 or 10 and after 10, 1 hour after that? So we'll just share in the group. So based on the majority, we will plan to do it. In case if the majority is on 16th, and if some of the devotees have missed because of genuine reasons, we will try to give you one more slot so that you can complete your exam. Right, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, then I had one more point. I'm not recollecting now. We'll see if there is anything. We will add up. Meanwhile, Kirti Mataji, if you have anything which we have to discuss, you can let me know, or you can announce in the class. Apart from these 2 points, what I said now.
Nothing much, Prabhuji, just the evaluation for the exam, the module 2 exam. I'm sorry, the previous one, the open book assessment. We will be sharing the marks in the coming class, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Mataji. Okay, fine.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. So let us continue with our discussion. So today we are starting section B, and Krishna willing is to complete this chapter today. So section B talks about Sloka 12.8 to 12.12, the progressive stages of devotion. Yeah, Krishna having established that bhakti is the supreme, bhakti yoga is supreme. Now Krishna is going to explain the progressive stages of bhakti, starting from the highest, the pure devotion, till the lowest is at least to cultivate the knowledge. Yeah, so 12.8, this is known as pure devotional service, Ananya Bhakti, in which the devotees have completely fixed their mind at the lotus feet of Krishna. And then if you are not in that stage, if you are not able to fix up to that stage, then the next level is at least practice the regulative principles of bhakti, which most of us are doing now. So, which is also known as sadhana bhakti. Yeah, sadhana bhakti is devotional service in practice. So there are 2 types of sadhana bhakti. Do anybody know what are the 2 types? Sadhana bhakti.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Vaidhi sadhana bhakti and ragana.
Yes. Vaidhi sadhana bhakti and raganuga bhakti. So following 4 regulative principles, chanting 16 rounds, whatever is needed, just needed, we are doing. So that is sadhana bhakti, Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Raganuga bhakti is something, it is above that. Just a simple example, in a class, various students are studying. Yeah, they are still studying, they have not got the certificate. But among these students, there are certain students who are only focused on exam and who are only focused to somehow pass through this. So that is sadhana bhakti, Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Whereas raganuga bhakti is something students who have risen above just to pass. Rather, they are loving the subject and they are attending the class for the love of the subject and learn more. So this is the simple example which I can give you. So through this sadhana bhakti, what happens is we are developing the desire to serve the Lord, to love the Lord. So this is the next level. And then Sloka 10, this talks about if you are not able to follow all the regulative principles, chant 16 rounds and what our Guru Acharyas have said, at least work for Krishna, do some voluntary services. Now, after level 1, I started doing various services. So those days, I was not in a stage of complete following all the 4 regulative principles or chanting 16 rounds. So at least engage in some service. That way you will further rise. And then 11 is surrendering to the one's results of work to Krishna. So help in this movement in terms of any charity or something like that. At least that way you rise. So we will discuss in detail on each shloka. The last one is, if you are not able to do any of these, at least cultivate the knowledge, and through meditation, we can further rise. So we will discuss in detail. So devotees who are reciting the sloka, please keep the hands raised. And today, Kalpana Mataji is out. She will not be able to participate in the sloka recitation. So I want more new hands who can take up the responsibility. So let us start with Chanda Yadav Mataji. Can you please recite this sloka, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
मय्ये मना आधस्त्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवशिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः. हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you, Mataji. Manushi Mitra Mataji, can you please read this for us?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you. Just for your mind, just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus, you will live in me always, without a doubt. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So here, it is to be understood that one who is engaged in the devotional service of the Lord is directly in relationship with the Lord. Yeah. It is said that even though the devotees are in this material world, but they are not conditioned to any of these material forces of Maya. He is already living with Krishna. The chanting of holy name, when he is purely chanting the holy name, Krishna is, Prabhupada says that Lord is dancing on the tongues of the pure devotee. Yeah. So therefore, the chanting of holy name, even to the pure devotee or somebody neophytes like us who have just started, the potency is there, the purification is there through which one can rise. And then what devotees does, that they start working for Krishna, they offer food for Krishna, as Devika Mataji said, they does everything for the pleasure of the Lord. And as we discussed before, chanting of holy name is such a potency. The holy name and Krishna is non-different. And in fact, when we listen to the senior Vaishnavas, they say that Nama Prabhu is lot more merciful than Krishna himself. Yeah. So when we are taking shelter of the holy names, all our anarthas gets purified and we rise. So as a result of rising in our taste for Harinam, what happens? What is the result we are getting? As we discussed before, chapter 8.5, Anta Kalecha Mam Eva Smaran Mukta Kalevaram. Yeah. So one who quits his body by remembering the Lord will definitely attain the lotus feet of the Lord, is what this sloka says. So for that, what is required? It is not that somebody chants the holy name at the time of leaving. Satatam Kirtayanto Mam. We have to continuously remember Krishna through the holy names and through the devotional service. Only then one will be in a position to remember the Lord at the time of death. Yeah. So performing pure devotional service, what is happening here? Fix mind upon me, engage all your intelligence in me, and you will always live in me, is what Krishna is telling. And that is what we learned in sloka 9.34. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyajimam namaskuru mam evishyasi yuktamyam atmanam matparayanaha. So here Krishna is telling, engage your mind, always thinking of me, become my devotee, offer our obeisances to the Lord and worship. So completely absorbed, surely one will come to me. Krishna is telling this. Now, having known this knowledge, can we do this unalloyed devotional service? We got the knowledge. That is why I asked, what is Gyan, what is Vijnan? So we got this Gyan. Are we able to do this as prescribed by the Lord himself, and we are getting this knowledge through our acharyas? Can we do it? If we can't do it, why we can't do it?
Prabhuji, we are trying to do it.
Yeah.
And we are trying from morning onwards The first thought is how to perform devotional service better way than previously, what to get, what to make, what to do. So that thought itself guides you at least for a few hours in the day, Prabhuji. And later on, yes, it is true that the physical activity itself absorbs you a lot, and your mind is sticking on how to do something methodically and better in the prescribed way. But then at the end of it, it always thinks, okay, can I offer this to the Lord? Can I show this as an example of my devotion to Him? So He's not asking us for physical outputs all the time. He's asking to be kept in the mind and to be the pivot of our activities, of our thoughts. So that devotion certainly is there, Prabhuji, which is why we are sitting in this class, which is why we are engaging in this process of study. So don't you think that we have all made a beginning and we are moving in that direction, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Mataji. Definitely, we have made a beginning, but what we need to understand is it's still a long way to go. Now,
Of
we are
course.
we are all chanting holy names, right? We are all chanting same holy names, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But as we know, there are three levels of chanting the holy name. So, what are these three steps? Anybody can add?
Kanishta level, Madhyama level, Uttamadhikari.
Yeah, that is one category. In chanting of holy name itself, there is three levels.
Prabhuji, one is with a lot of imperfections when we are thinking, mind is going in every direction possible,
Yeah, that is
and
general
we have to
answer
bring
I'm
it back
looking
in
for.
constantly.
Yes,
Prabhuji?
I'm looking for a specific answer. Yes, you are right.
Prabhuji, it's like chanting for ourselves, that is a silent japa, and Sankirtan, that is loudly when we are chanting, it
No,
is for others also.
no.
No,
Still, I'm looking for somebody told the answer. Then
Prabhuji, is it
starting.
Naam Apradh and
Exactly. Yes, yes, that is the answer I'm looking for. So please go on, Mataji.
Prabhuji, the first one is the Naam Apradh, and then Naam Namabhas, and
Yes,
then comes the pure chanting, the Shuddha Naam.
exactly, Mataji. So now all of you have taken the endeavors to come to the class. But how many of you are 100% attentive to this class and absorbing everything? Yeah. I'm not saying that I am something great. Even when I sit in the class, my mind is also completely wandering. Yeah. So when we are starting, we are in the Nama Aparadh stage. Even inattentive chanting is also Nama Aparadh. There are 10 Nama Aparadh, which I'm sure you all know, right? Blaspheming the devotee. So many such things, including not having complete faith in chanting of holy name and continuing to have material attachment even after understanding all this. So all these things, we are all struggling in this thing. And the next level is Namabhas. So what is Namabhas stage? To put it very simple, now when we are chanting the holy name, when we start chanting the holy name, our mind is wandering and we don't even know when our one round is complete, right? And still our mind is wandering. Namabha stage is a stage where you are putting all your efforts in attentively hearing the holy names and without any offenses. And still the 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 characteristics of mind is such that it will continue to wander. Yeah. Whenever it is wandering, your efforts to bring it back every time and focusing on the holy names without doing any offenses. This is Nabhava stage. And can we do pure Shuddhanam? Can we rise to Shuddhanam with our efforts?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Mercy.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
What is the
Prabhuji, by
answer?
the mercy and our efforts.
Yes, yes. So we discussed about three E's and followed by M. So we can put our endeavors, we can rise to a stage from the ground floor. We are in ground floor. We can rise to a stage, the first floor, that is Namabhas, but the Shuddha Nam which pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada was taking, yeah, that is not in our control. We can put our endeavors, but by the mercy of the Lord, mercy of the devotees, we can rise to that level. Okay, this is about thing. So the point which I wanted to drive is Krishna has given us this knowledge, but is it easy for us to do it? Bhagavad-Gita, Sloka 7.14, it clearly says, Devi Shagunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya Mam Evaye Prapadyante Maya Evam Tarantite. So Krishna says, my divine energy consisting of three modes of material nature is very, very difficult to overcome. So we are struggling in this endeavor. But Krishna says, one who has surrendered to me, he can easily cross over it. And then there is another shloka reference from chapter 8.16 says, Abrahma bhuvana loka punar avartino arjuna mam ev upatyantu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. So it says, right from the highest planet to the lowest of the planet, everybody are struggling in this, everybody are struggling in this vicious cycle of birth and death. But one who attains my supreme abode, such person will never come back. So for that to rise, to reach to Krishna's abode, what is required is Satatam Kirtanyam Tomam. So always chanting the glories and putting the endeavors with great determination, such soul will undoubtedly come to me, is what Krishna is telling. So that is what we need to put our endeavors through the sadhana bhakti, what we are practicing. So this sloka talks about such bhakti, which is sadhana bhakti, right? So Shanti Sudesh Mataji, can you please read the sloka for us?
Yes, Prabhu. Ata chittam samadhatum na shaknosi mai stiram abhyasa yogena tato mam ichchatum dhananjaya.
Thank you, Mataji.
Sorry for the disturbance.
Yeah, no problem. Praveen K. Prabhu, can you please read this for us? Oh, you said your voice is okay, no problem, Prabhu. Don't bother yourself.
Dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without devotion, then follow the regulated principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, you will develop a desire to attain to the me. Hare Krishna, Sadhana Bhakti.
Thank you, Prabhu. So we discussed two type of sadhana bhakti, Raganuga bhakti, Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Yeah. And now what we need to understand is the love for Godhead is always there within our heart, but it is in a dormant state. And how do we purify our heart to connect with the pure love of the Lord is through this chanting of holy name. The Krishna consciousness process, what Prabhupada or Guru Acharyas have given, is itself will purify our heart and re-establish our love with the Godhead. So practicing the regulative principles, practicing waking up early in the morning, waking up in Brahma Muhurta, taking bath, attending Mangalarti, chanting of holy names, reading Srila Prabhupada books, offering prasadam to the Lord and honoring the prasadam. So all these things, Shravanam, Kirtanam, so all these things are all part of our sadhana through which the purification happens and we get the real knowledge and we fix up in that knowledge of absolute truth. So here, I said, if one cannot perform the devotional service, pure devotional service, then at least take up regulative devotional service in practice, is what it is said. And those who have not developed attachment to Krishna, how they can is by practice. Second, how to follow this practice is by taking the guidance of, taking the shelter and guidance of our Guru Parampara. And who are all qualified to practice this? So it is said as anybody can practice. Bhagavad Gita is not a religious book. It's a spiritual book, spirit soul, and every living entity is a spirit soul. So everybody, it is applicable for everybody, and guarantee of success. It said, having practiced this, definitely you will attain the lotus feet of the Lord. And what is the process? The 9 stage Navavidha Bhakti. So let us quickly touch upon the Navavidha Bhakti. So what are the 9 stages?
Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padusevanam, Archanam,
Shravanam,
Vandanam,
Kirtanam, it is all form of
Sakyam
devotional
Atmanam.
services. So I'm talking about the stages, right? From the Shraddha stage to the
Radha, Sadhu
Bhavanupleva
Sangha,
stage.
Bhajana Kriya, Anarthanavarti, Nistha, Ruchi, Ashakti, Bhava, Prema.
Yes. So these are the 9 stages. These are the 9 stages of bhakti. But there are something even before this. We have discussed this in the class. What is that? How we can get Shraddha?
Association.
Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu
Yes,
Smaranam.
that is 9 forms of devotional service. 9
Association with devotees, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Reading books.
So, 2 important things. Satan Kripa, Mahat Seva. By serving the devotees, Vaishnavas, and by their mercy, only we will rise in our faith, and through that faith, and then comes all the association, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nistha, Ruchi, Asakti, and Bhava. Right? So the serving the devotees is very, very important for us to fix up in this faith. Otherwise, we will fall down. So that is the importance of engaging in devotional service, right? And then comes the 9 forms of devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. So in this, what is the practical thing we need to learn? The Shravanam, the first, many times the emphasis is given on chanting the holy name, but attentive listening is also important. Attentive listening, starting with our listening our own chanting, and then listening to the glories of the Supreme Lord. That is Shravanam. Smaranam. How can you improve your Smaranam? What is Smaranam?
Remembering the Lord all the time.
Yes. How you can remember the Lord always?
By trying to engage our senses in a service.
Yes. So this is the importance of engaging in devotional service. You continue to attend the class, gain all the knowledge. So you are in the Jnana stage itself. How you apply this as Vijnana is by engaging, taking up some service. That is the importance of doing some service. There are so many services. We continue to say, we visit, it is important to visit temples close by where we are sitting from across India. We need to visit, engage in some physical service, as well as even more important is engaging service in our own congregation of online congregation, so that, through your service, many devotees can come and progress in Krishna consciousness. And that is what pleases our Guru as well as Gauranga. And one more point which I want to touch is at initial stages of our bhakti, we wish to see the Lord. We wish to see the Lord through our eyes. But as we progress, the realization, devotees start knowing the Lord through their ears, right? That is the importance of hearing the glories, and that is known as Shabda Pramana, the most authorized way to know the Lord. Now let us move to the next shloka. Neha Jindal Mataji, you want to recite?
अभ्यासेऽप्ये असमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थम् अपि कर्माणि kurvan siddhim avapsyasi.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Aruna Mataji, can you please read this for us?
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada. If you can't practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me. Because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. Hare Krishna. Thanks, Prabhupada.
So, if you're not in a stage of sadhana bhakti where minimum prescribed rules are to be followed, at least start engaging. Most of us have come to this stage by engaging in some service, right? So through online courses and other things, we are trying to offer some of our time in service of the Lord. So the three: perform devotional service, follow regulatory principles, or work for Krishna in some capacity. So how can we perform? By helping to propagate this Krishna consciousness movement. Now ISKCON is across the world is propagating this, preaching the message of the Lord. So we can contribute in some or the other way to help. And the difference in this kind of work and difference in what we do for our material things. In material activities, we were all, before coming into Krishna consciousness, we were all working for our own sense enjoyment, right? Now, whatever we are working is for the pleasure of the Lord. So we need to take up such service. And I continue to request devotees, come forward. There are many services. Many of you have already taken up service and experiencing that bliss. So any one of the volunteers from our class who have taken up service can share their experience for the benefit of all other devotees. I know few of our class participants are doing some or the other service. What is your experience?
Yes, bro, this
Prabhuji.
little service will give very much bliss, Prabhu.
Yeah.
I have experienced first time when I called someone, the list given, they have thank you for, they have told thank you for calling. I got so much bliss from it, Prabhu.
Yes. Yes, Prabhu. So, and what is more important is you are not expecting any returns out of it. You are just trying to serve your Guru Parampara. And when you know that you are helping others to progress in Krishna consciousness, that is how the mercy will flow from our Guru Parampara. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that. So that gives very great bliss when you engage in such service. Manoshi Mitra Mataji, you want to add?
Yes, Prabhuji, there was the SEVA for calling up people for the new classes, new courses,
Yeah.
and it was very, very interesting and satisfying because I have never really sat down and explained what I understand of devotional service to anyone. But people ask me all kinds of questions about the origins of ISKCON and about the origins of Lord Rama and Lord Krishna. And I'm not still sharing with them things which I have never spoken of to anybody. So it was very interesting and talking in Bengali as well as in English and Hindi, and then trying to link them up to classes. And the thing is, it was not always possible to get them on board because many times he would not answer the phone or something. But at the same time, the effort was there, and ultimately, someone or the other linked up and joined the class. So even if a few people joined, it was just very happy making, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
So this is how we continue to improve our smaranam. When we are doing all these things selflessly, then we start remembering the Lord through this service. We remember the sacrifices of Srila Prabhupada through this service. So this way the mercy will flow. And the next sloka is directly connected to what Manoshi Mataji has said, that we have to put our endeavors, we have to put our endeavors in service and do not expect the results out of it. It is not now Manoshi Mitra Mataji or Shiva Prabhu, they might have got 20 numbers to call up devotees. Not 20 is going to give you the same kind of response. Somebody may not receive the call, Somebody may even counter argue, somebody may give some negative remarks. What is happening through all these things? One is, it is trying to purify our own false ego. Second, we are surrendering to the will of the Lord, and we are putting our endeavors and results we are leaving to Krishna. Not necessarily all 20 have to join and progress, but whatever results Krishna has given, we are taking it. So we are rising to that mood of accepting everything as the mercy of the Lord. So in this chapter, we are going to discuss the qualities of devotees. This is one of the key quality of a devotee, success or failure. He is accepting both as a mercy of the Lord. So that way we are not putting too much of pressure on ourselves for success always. When we look back all our life, we have been working only for success. How many of them have worked to fail? Everybody want to succeed, right? So that what is happening is, it is putting lot of undue pressure and anxiety for us, and always we are living in the fear of failure. We don't want to fail, we want to succeed. So this knowledge, what it gives, through this knowledge, either success or failure, I am trying to give my best in my endeavor. Rest, it is Krishna's will. This is the key lesson we have to take away and implement in all our personal lives as well. You could be a student, you could be a professional, you could be a businessman, whatever it is. This is the crux, we have to take it into our lives. Let us move to the next shloka. Madhura Manashi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Can you please try, recite this line?
अहैतद् अपि असक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगम् आश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु यतत्मवान्.
Yeah. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Suraj Prabhu, can you please unmute and read the translation?
Yes. So if, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So try to give the results of all your work, right? So that is what we discussed so far, and giving up the results is very important. And for a karmi, for a non-devotee, how he can give up his fruits of results? At least try to do some charity for some social cause. This, what is happening by giving charity? Why it is said we need to give charity, and what is the result of charity? Anybody had? Hare Krishna. What is the result of giving charities?
Purification.
Prabhu, we get punya, Prabhu, and to receive the reaction of that, we have to take birth again, Prabhu.
So then you don't want to do charity?
No, Prabhu, we can do charity, but give the result to Krishna. So he will deal with it.
Yes. As we progress, we will learn how to do charity, what should be the mood when we are doing charity. Okay. So any other answers?
Prabhu, this kind of charity
Hare
will actually help us to, advance in the path of renunciation of
Exactly.
our fruitive results.
Yes,
Or
Mataji. You bring always all the perfect answers right from the purports of Srila Prabhupada. That is exactly the reason we ask devotees to read the Srila Prabhupada books. Yeah,
Hare
I've
Krishna
come
Prabhu.
prepared for this class. Thank you for that answer, Mataji.
Hare
What is
Krishna
happening?
Prabhu, just one thing I wanted to tell you.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhu, I've been taking. I got initiated in August, and
Oh,
from September 1st onwards, I'm taking level 1 Bengali classes.
very nice.
And believe you me, there are so many questions. People who are coming to the class, they are putting volley of questions on me, some which I am being able to answer the same day. For some I'm taking time, I'm trying to search the answers, or else I'm talking to the Bengali department head, taking answers from her, learning, and then I'm telling it to the people who are putting the questions on me.
Exactly,
So
Mata.
that is how I'm learning, Prabhu.
My
So it's
own realization is when I take this class, I am getting more than what I'm able to give. That is the mercy of our Guru Parampara.
yes, Prabhu. So many questions I'm getting every day.
Yes. So
Hare Krishna.
many times we don't take any step to preach because if some question is posed, what if I don't know the answer? Yeah, that is not the way to look at. If any such questions are there, it is an opportunity for us also to learn. Yeah, no problem in saying that I don't know because we are all learning together, right? I'm not the expert of this. I am also learning with you all. So any question we don't know, we can always, in a humble way, we can say that we don't know. I will come back. So that will give us an opportunity to go back to our Siksha Gurus, understand ourselves, and then preach. So that is one of the important things. So the point, coming back to this point, the charity will help us to relieve ourselves from our deep material attachments. So that way one gets purified, and with this renunciation to this material attachment, one will rise in his self-realization. And Bhagavad-Gita 18.46, it says, Yata pravartir bhutanam. So one who is not a devotee, who is doing some social cause. So all those supreme cause will also ultimately reach to the Lord. And through this, he will rise above, through this ladder of bhakti, what we are discussing here. And now we are getting into the lowest ladder. So Shivakumar Prabhu, you want to recite this shloka?
Yes, bro, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare.
श्रेयो हि ज्ञानम् अभ्यासात् ज्ञानाध्यानम् शिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्म फलत्याग त्याग शांति निरंतरम्. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Tarani Preeti Mataji,
Yes, Prabhuji.
can you please
If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of the knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation. And better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action, for by such renunciation one can attain peace of mind.
Yes. Yes. So one who is not able to do any of this, follow the principles of Krishna consciousness, at least cultivate the knowledge, at least try to understand. Being getting a human body, the least what we can do is Atato Brahma Jignasa. What is the purpose? Who am I? What is my purpose? Try to get this knowledge. Through this knowledge, what happens? One start meditating. Yeah. So Jnana Yoga, Dhyana, and then what it is said is at least above this, one who is rise to this, he starts renouncing the fruits of action, and that is more important, which will lead to peace of mind. And just to touch upon the charity, the mood in which we need to do charity is the mood is as it is my duty. So there are 3 levels of doing charity. The topmost is as a matter of duty when I am doing it without any expectation. Then it doesn't have that kind of the punya papa we are getting out of all those things, and we are giving Hari Om Tat Sat. It is in the service of the Lord. So that way we have to do our charities. So this is the summary of this ladder, what Krishna has given, the steps of bhakti, starting with fixing up the mind on Krishna. If not, we will have to follow the regulative principles or work for Krishna, dedicate our life for Krishna, giving up the results of the work, or cultivate the knowledge through the knowledge, meditation, and renunciation of the work. This is the process. But what we need to understand is, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and devotees, we have got the direct process of bhakti, Krishna consciousness. We have come into this Krishna consciousness. So that process is known as express elevator. We need not have to climb up this step and reach to the pure devotion. Rather, take up this bhakti, follow the regulative principles, purify, and rise further. So this is the summary. We will now quickly move to the next last section, the qualities that endears one to Krishna. Yeah, we have discussed the steps. Now let us try to understand. We understood who is the Supreme Lord, what is the process of bhakti, what is the steps. Now we will spend more time through this sloka on knowing about us and our qualities. What qualities pleases Krishna and which will help us to progress in our Krishna consciousness. This is the last section. So what is our position? Any references from the scriptures? We all know we are the servants of the Lord. Any references from the scriptures?
Sthita Dhira Muni.
Sthita Dhira Muni. So that is, one has to fix up. Any sloka, we know we are part and parcel of the Lord. Which is the sloka reference? Anybody remember? Yes, Prabhu. So, Bhagavadgita 15.7. Mamai Vamsa Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana Manashastrani Stani Karshati. So, in this, Krishna clearly says the living entity in this condition world is my eternal fragmental parts. But due to our own material conditioning, we are struggling with our six senses and entangled in this vicious cycle of birth and death. This talks about we are the part and parcel, and what is happening to the soul. Bhagavad Gita 2.13. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantaram praptir dhiras tatra namunyati. So this embodied soul, continuously passing from the boyhood to youth to old age, and at the time of death it is transmigrating to another body. So it says the sober person, the wise person who understands this, do not be bewildered by the changes what is going through. So our constitutional position, Jivera Swarupa Hai Krishnera Nityadas. This we need to clearly understand.
Prabhuji, can I ask a question?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Prabhuji, when you say that after death we transmigrate into another body, is that like whatever wrong we have done, whatever further training we have to have, we don't go into another planet in order to go through that training, we go straight into another body, Prabhuji?
There is a long process, Mataji. As the soul transmigrate, it has to go back based on their karmas. They have to go through. We have discussed about bija in a manifested stage and things, no? So he has to go through this, and then he has to further take a body, and from where Solpapiyasya dharmasya trayatu mahato bhayat. So one who have done little devotional service, by the mercy of the Lord, he will continue from where he has to continue. So this way it will go on till we attain that pure devotion and perfection of this life to go back to Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So Chanda Mataji, would you like to take up this sloka?
Yes, Prabhuji. I can't see the screen.
Your voice is very feeble, Mataji. Voice is not coming through.
The screen is not visible, Prabhuji.
Are you attending?
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Now this. Now it is visible, Prabhuji.
Or what, Mataji?
Yes, now it is visible, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Tveshta sarvabhutana maitra karuna eva cha nirmamo nirahankarah samdukha sukhakshami santushtah satatam yogi yatatma dridha nishayah mayarpita manurbuddhe yo madbhaktas same priyah.
Thank you, Mataji. Akshita Reddy Mataji. Can you please translation?
Yes. One who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me, such a devotee of mine is very dear to me.
Yes. Thank you. So in these two sloka, the Lord is describing the transcendental qualification of pure devotees, how the pure devotees are going to be. One of the key qualities, irrespective of their circumstances, they are not getting disturbed, not getting agitated because of the pressure of material nature, nor he said that they are nor envious. Yeah. And it is also tells that he is not even the enemy of his enemy. Somebody is harming, giving him trouble. He is not the enemy. He thinks this enemy who is acting his deeds is because of his own past deeds. He is to face all these things. So he's not even blaming to the person who is giving us trouble. So that is the consciousness of a pure devotee. And even Srimad Bhagavatam, it says that whenever a devotee is fallen in distress, into difficulty, he thinks it is the mercy of the Lord because he has to pass through all these past karmas to purify and go back to the Lord. So based on the past deed, he thinks that based on my past deed, I am entitled to get even worse, but somehow by the mercy of the Lord, I am only getting this much. So this is the mood of anybody, any devotee who are suffering. So some of the qualities it is mentioned: advesha, non-envious, kind to everyone, even to his enemy, and santusta, is happy and satisfied with whatever he has received. He is not over endeavoring to get the material thing. Whatever he is putting his efforts, through which whatever he is getting, he is very happy. And nirmamo, this again is very important. Many times we are struggling because of this, because of our ownership mentality. Nirmamo, the devotee, has no sense of proprietorship. So we are always having this ownership mentality, because of which we want to control, we want to enjoy. So this is one of the thing which is putting us down. And such devotee, he does not have the false ego. He do not identify himself with this body, and he is always equipoised with both stress, distress, or happiness. When we talk about the bodily difficulties, somebody is going, still is steadied, Sthita Dhira, is our Guru Maharaj. He's going through so much of health issues, but every day we hear our Guru Maharaj is attending this program, that program, attending GBC meeting. Still, he continued to engage in service. Every minute, every second he has dedicated his life in service of our Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, and all the Vaishnavas. So that is the level of a pure devotee. So nothing, it is said that nothing material disturbance, nothing material can disturb such a devotee. That is the standard these devotees have, and it is said as very, very rare, with Dhrida Nishchaya, tolerant, never disturbed by any circumstances. Yeah. They are fixing up their mind at the lotus feet of the Lord. And Krishna says, such devotees are very rare and such devotees are very dear to him. Let's move to the next shloka. Santoshi Popana Mataji, you want to recite this shloka?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am.
यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोकः लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षामर्ष भयोद्वेगः मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, thank you. Praveen MS Prabhu, you want to read this translation?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Dandavat Pranam. He for whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anxiety, who is steady in happiness and distress, is very dear to me.
Yes.
Hare Bol. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. So here, Krishna is giving us the life's lesson, how we can please Krishna, how we can become dear to Krishna. Yeah. Our happiness or distress is not in others' hands. It is in our own hand. Not get affected by others. Yeah, devotees who are always engaged in Krishna consciousness, who see Krishna's plans and Krishna's hands in every situation. Such person is not disturbed. Yeah, such person do not react to such external forces. And such stage is not easy to receive. Not everybody, all of us are struggling. We are not in that stage. Such stage is obtained by the mercy of the Lord. And that mercy will come when? By our endeavors, our enthusiasm, right? And does not affect others. One is he does not get affected by others. Secondly, he do not affect others. No one is put into anxiety. No one is put into difficulty or fearful situation because of our reactions, our actions. Yeah, this is the highest level of devotion. We know this answer. Krishna is giving this lesson. Now, how we can rise is putting these lessons in our own life through the practical situations what we are facing today. We are all struggling with our own, everybody are writing our own exams. Yeah, right? So we are all into some or the other situation. When we implement this knowledge in our life and when we react or respond in our lives, that is when we are rising above with our material difficulties. Next sloka. Devika Mataji, you want to recite this sloka?
Yes, Prabhuji. Anapekshah suchirdaksh उदासीन गतव्यतः सर्वरंभ परित्यागी यो मद्भक्त्या समे प्रियः. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Aruna Mataji, you want to read this?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
But without care, some
Your voice is
result
not coming
very
through.
dear to.
Actually, I called
Thank
out
you,
for
Prabhuji.
Aruna
Hare Krishna.
Mataji. I know Karuna Mataji is traveling. Aruna
Hare Krishna
Mataji.
Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
A devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and who does not strive for some result is very dear to me. Hare
Yes.
Krishna. Thanks, Prabhu.
So here, we should not get confused what we are trying to learn from here. It says devotees do not put extra endeavors to acquire more money than what is needed. He is not getting agitated if he is not getting the result, is not getting the required Lakshmi. Whatever Lakshmi naturally comes, he takes it and engage in service of the Lord. So the point what we need to clearly understand, it is not stopping us to put our best efforts in our endeavors, but is not hankering for that result. He is surrendering the result. He is leaving the results to the Lord. But you do your best to the given task, given job responsibility, whatever you are doing, you give your best, but you are not hankering too much for the result is what we need to understand. And whatever the results is the Supreme Lord. That is what the first sloka of Isha Upanishad we understand. Isha vasyamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatan jagat. Tena taktvena bunjita magrada kashyasvidhanam. So it is Lord's. We are just a caretaker and we take as per our quota and engage in service of the Lord. So the devotee is expert in understanding this knowledge, and he is convinced by the knowledge he is getting through Shastra, Sadhu, Sada, Shastra and Guru. So whatever is getting, he is convinced and is taking and implementing in his own life. Next sloka.
Can I try, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please. You can raise the hand and you can try.
यो न वृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान् यशः स मे प्रियः.
Yes. These are all very, very important sloka for our lives. When we are getting through any difficult situation, immediately we want to react. We are not able to tolerate the suffering we have been given. We are not able to tolerate the injustice we are going through. We want to react with our actions. So what is happening in this situation? When we are reacting to that situation, then we are not surrendering to the plans of the Lord. We want to react. We want to take the control. We want to give it back. And what is happening? We are ending up in even more difficult situation, right? Neeta Shamataji, you want to read the translation?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. One who neither grasps pleasure or grief, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things is very dear to me.
Yes. So, most of us who are in Bhagavad Bhakti Shastri stage, including me, I am telling, we know all this lesson we are getting from Bhagavad Gita. We know this is the life lesson we are getting directly from the Lord, how we need to live this life so that we can go back to Krishna. Yeah, one who neither grabs pleasure or grief, who neither lament or desire, who renounce both auspicious and inauspicious thing is very dear to me. Here, unaffected by material emotions. Many times we flow down by the material emotions and we end up losing our senses, right? So the person who is Titadira, who is fixed up in devotion service, he neither grieves nor take pleasure. Yeah, we need to understand from this fact that this material world is full of hypocrisy. We get cheated, put into difficult situation. We have to go through tough situation even in our own relationship. So what are we trying to do by reacting to that? Is Prabhupada, as per the thing, he says that by trying to take revenge, trying to react, it is purely waste of our time and energy. It is only deviating us from our real purpose. That is the forces of Maya. Here we understand from purport that the Krishna's devotees, we are trying to be the devotee. If we want to be the devotee, the quality of devotee is not even enemy to the enemies, because he is realizing that whatever is happening to him, it is his purification. It may not be many times the mistake what we try to do. Why we react is when we are going through some situation, we only look at what has happened. Our memory is limited only to our this particular life. But we need to understand from scriptures that we have taken many lives, and whatever is happening is our past karma. And whatever the situation is, our purification. So actually, in reality, the person who is giving you trouble is in a way helping you to purify your past sins, karmas. We never know what we have done to those person in our past lives. So how do we purify, nullify these reactions and go back to Krishna is going through this situation.
Prabhuji, can I ask a question?
Yes, Mataji.
This is related to my earlier question about the transmigration of the soul.
Yeah.
Because if we come into another body straight away and we have to get purified or trained as per the history of our karma and relationships with others, then that is part of the purification and the training process, right, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Now, given that somebody, for instance, is trying to cheat you of something which is actually yours, but then they have taken it away by unfair means. So, do we take it that, yes, it is something I must have done to that person previously, and so he has taken it, and I should just let it go, not feel anything, not feel anger, not feel enmity, but just let it go? Is that the way to react, or is it the way to react that no, if it is justifiably mine, then I don't know what I did in the past, but this person is incurring a bad karma. So should I try to prevent that? What is the right course of action, Prabhuji?
It's a very, very good and very important question, which most of you may be having at this point of the time. Yeah, we need to understand whatever we are bound to get. It is already destined and Krishna is going to give. And for your important question, what you feel is yours and somebody else by cheating they have taken away, definitely you need to fight. Yeah, definitely you need to fight, but not at the cost of your own Krishna consciousness. If
Yes, Prabhuji.
disturbing
Okay.
your
Right.
Krishna consciousness, that fight
Yes.
is worthless. If you are
Right.
able to do your sadhana correctly, and
Yes.
then there are legal process to follow. By following that, without any attachment of the results, without compromising on your Krishna consciousness, if you are in a mindset to fight, you can fight. If not, take a step back, rise in your sadhana, and then you can always fight back.
But Prabhuji, personally speaking, I've decided to give it up, and I have no attachment. I don't feel anything for it.
Yeah.
So
So
is that
yes, it is
suitable?
the personal choice what one has to take. So your question is direct. So I gave a direct answer. I
Yes,
know there are
Prabhuji.
few of our friends going through such situations, and my answer to them is you have to fight for what is legally it is yours, but is it affecting your Krishna consciousness?
Yes, Prabhuji, I
Are you in a
understand.
position to fight without
Yes, yes.
this? If you are fighting and most of the time you are only thinking about this fight and you are not utilizing this time into progressing in your Krishna consciousness, that fight is worthless.
Yes, Prabhuji, you are right. I've seen my father in his last moments thinking about the cases that he had to uh, keep engaging in with his brothers and his children. So, yes, you are right. To that extent, it's very harmful. And it's better to give up than to engage in that level of
Yes.
attachment.
So,
Yes, Prabhuji, you
as
are
per
right.
the statistics, 70% of the legal cases are going based on these property issues with their own family members.
Yes, Prabhuji, of course.
So,
better to give it up, Prabhuji, if you're not very attached to it.
yeah. So already I have given the answer, so we can
Yes, you
move
have
further.
to. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. You can fight, you have to fight, but not at the cost of your own Krishna consciousness progress. This is the answer.
Right, Prabhuji. Right.
Prabhuji, I have a quick question. Is it okay, Prabhuji, if I ask now?
We have 3 more slokas. Can we complete this, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji,
We
yes.
can take
Since it
the
was
question.
like connected and related to karma, so I thought I might as well just interrupt. But that's okay, Prabhuji. I'll ask it at the end.
Yes. So let us complete this. So the flow is there, and then we will take the question at the last. So Who is coming forward for this sloka? Padmini Mataji, you want to recite this sloka?
Yes, Prabhuji. Both 18 and 19. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
18 and 19 both.
Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
Okay. Sama shatrau cha mitre cha tatha manapamanayoh शीतोष्णा सुखदुःखेषु समः सङ्गविवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतः स्थिरमतिः भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी.
Anybody left out to recite? Sudarshan.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Can I read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Please go ahead, Prabhu.
Yeah. One who is equal to friends and enemies. Who is always free from contamination, always silent and satisfied with anything, who does not care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and engaged in devotional service, is very dear to me. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. So these two slokas summarize all the key qualities of a pure devotee, and one who want to recognize as a devotee should develop these good qualities, is what it is said. And what is one more important thing is one who is engaged in Krishna consciousness. The qualities what we are going to discuss will automatically manifest within them. Yeah. So what are those qualities? Let us look at. Samashas Satrucha Mitrucha, equal to friends and enemies. So this talks about the dualities of our life. So what are the dualities generally we face in our life?
Happiness and distress.
Yes, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, many success, failure, all these things are part and parcel of our life, right? One who is staying steady through all these things, equipoised in dualities. Yeah, this is one of the key quality. Sangha Vivarjita, always free from contaminating association. Yeah, and Mauni silence. Again, this question comes. What is silence in Krishna consciousness?
Not to speak anything which is not related to Krishna.
Exactly. So we speak so much, spend so much of time away from Krishna. Okay. So it is important what we speak. It should be for the glorification of the Lord. That is the quality of the pure devotees. And again, it said that unaffected by material emotions, we all get flowed by material emotions through the situation we face in our material life. So these devotees, through these qualities, they're always fixed up in determination and knowledge. Tira Matir. And some of these qualities we discussed, it could be, it looks like a repetition of the qualifications, but Prabhupada is emphasizing through his purports that these are all the qualifications we need to endeavor to acquire. And most importantly, one does not put extra endeavors to acquire these qualifications, but don't focus on these qualities. Rather, what we've been taught by our Guru Acharyas is your engagement in Krishna consciousness, following four regulative principles, chanting holy name, engaging devotional service. These qualities will automatically manifest, is what we learn from this sloka. And the summary of all these things has been said here, the qualities that endeavor one to Krishna. So one is fixing up the mind, the other qualities. There are four categories been discussed. How a pure devotee what is his attitude towards oneself, what what will be his attitude when he's dealing with other living entities, what he will do when something is happening, reaction to things happening to him, and dealings with the Lord. So these 4 categories you can just fix up where you are. And this is just a summary. We already discussed all these points. So nirmama, free from proprietorship, free from false ego. And whatever happening to the body, many people are going through many bodily difficulties. So they realize that I am not this body. This body is suffering. I am outside this body. So when they are in that mode, many people going through this bodily difficulty, first thing they compromise is their sadhana or their spiritual practice. So here you need to know that body is temporary. For me, my nourishment, I am the spirit soul. My nourishment is spiritual practice. This is the mode with which the devotees are. And when they are dealing with others, non-envious, not enemy to even our enemies, equal to friends and enemies, always free from contaminating association and silence. These are some of the qualities we discussed. And reaction when things happen to you, always you are first of all satisfied with what you got, and be tolerant in what is happening, and self-controlled to the forces, exterior forces. If you start reacting to the way the exterior forces are coming to you, then what is the difference between you and them? Then what is the point of you telling yourself you are practicing Krishna consciousness? So such people are always neutral, neither rejoice nor grieve over material gain or loss. So this is the point. When you want to fight a case for which, if somebody, you need a property or whatever it is, if you want to fight, you fight, but you are aloof to the result, success or failure. But most of them, what they do when they are getting into this fight, 24/7, they are just thinking about this. Such fight is worthless, is the point I wish to give to the class here. And then dealing with the Lord. So when they are dealing with the Lord, they are determined, they are fixed of their intelligence and completely engaged in devotional service, is what we understand some of the qualities. So last sloka for the day, it's already 10 o'clock. Let's conclude soon. Who is to take up the last sloka? Anybody want to grab? Anybody can unmute and take it up.
May I, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ye to dharma amritam idam yathoktam paryupashyate Shraddha hyanamat paramam bhaktiste tvitame priyaha. Hare Krishna.
Mataji. So anybody who has
Prabhuji,
not
may I read the
participated,
translation?
anybody who has not participated wish to recite, read the translation quickly.
Hare Krishna,
Shall I?
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, go ahead.
He who follows this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engages himself with faith, making me the supreme goal, is very, very dear to me. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. So in this chapter, to summary, right from the sloka 2, it says, Mayavesha mano yemam, fixing the mind onto me. Till this sloka, Krishna has explained the process of how to approach the Lord, how to go back to the Lord. And this chapter started with Arjuna asking the question, which is better? Is it impersonal or serving the Lord in a Bhagwan feature? And Bhagwan clearly gave the answer to serve the personal form of the Lord through the devotional service, right? And through this chapter, some of the other important thing we understood is the association of devotees that will help us to rise in our attachment of pure devotional service. And what is important? One is association of devotees. Second important is taking the shelter of our Guru Parampara. Tadvidi paripatena pariprashnena sevaya. So that way we need to rise. And through this, what knowledge we get from our Guru is to follow our regulative principles, and chanting the holy name is the process, the sadhana bhakti, we will rise further, right? And all these things can be summarized by putting the bhakti process is ABCD of bhakti. Already we have discussed at length about A, association of devotees, studying Srila Prabhupada books. Many times we hear reading books. No, Prabhupada says studying, not reading. We also read newspaper, right? So studying Srila Prabhupada books is important, and chanting the holy name, and prasad, D for diet or deity worship. And then 3 E's and M we discussed. Eagerness in our eagerness, and then our endeavors and enthusiasm, maintain the enthusiasm till the last breath, and the mercy will flow. And we also discussed about 2 slokas which will help us to progress in our bhakti, and the determinant for our bhakti. The first sloka is from Nectar of Instruction, which discussed about Utsaha Nishchaya Dhairya Tattat Karma Pravartanat Sangatyaga Sato Vritte Shabbir Bhakti Prasiddhyate. So the 6th principle we already discussed. I am not going to detail into it. Already we have discussed. So the point what I wish to say is, at least by this stage of our bhakti, we should be fixed up in our realization. The 5th sloka of Shikshastakam, which says, Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patita mam vishame bhavam buddho kripaya tava pada pankaja stita duli sadarsha vichantaya. The translation is, O son of Maharaja Nanda Krishna, I have realized that I am your eternal servant. Somehow or the other, I have fallen into this material world, world of birth and death. Please pick me up by your causeless mercy. Please pick me up and place me as dust at your lotus feet. The last sloka of Shikshastakam is the topmost. It is for the pure devotees, which says, Ashli Shava Padaratam Pinastumam Adarshanam Marmahatam Karotua Yata Tatava Vidatulam Pato Mat Prananatastucha Evanapara. So, Krishna, you embrace me or you break my heart. You are my worshipable Lord. That kind of surrender is the ultimate, but at least we should rise to a stage where we should realize we are your eternal servant, and please pick me up. It is not in my hand. I am begging for your causeless mercy. Please pick me up. So at least till this stage we should rise. And having come to this stage, what is also equally important, we know the Bhakti Lata Beach is growing, covering this Bhakti Lata Beach from all the weeds. And how do we do? Shloka, Nectar of Instruction Shloka 2, it says, Atyaharasya prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraho jana sangascha laulyam cha sabbir bhaktir vinashati. So the 6 things which I think we have not discussed this before. I'll just touch upon. Eating more than necessary or collecting more than what is required is atyahara. Over endeavoring for mundane things. Over endeavoring is important, which is very difficult to obtain. That also is of no use. And taking and talking unnecessary things, prajalpa, unnecessary things, which is not anything to do with Krishna consciousness, we should avoid. And practicing all these regulative principles just for the sake of practicing, rather than progressing in our Krishna consciousness. So that mood is also we need to get over. And associating with worldly minded people, we are 99% have to associate with these people, either at home or outside neighborhood or in office. So we need to know what is the line to draw, do whatever is absolutely needed, but not necessary to spend a lot more time in such association, and being greedy for mundane achievements. So these are some of the things we should avoid, and many more.
Prabhuji, the shloka which you have just said, Atyaharasya Prashascha Prajalpo Niyamagraha.
Yeah.
This is from reference, Prabhuji?
Nectar of Instruction, Shloka 2, Mataji.
Okay. I'm asking just because it is there in, as you said, it is there in Hatha Yoga Pradipika. The same shloka is quoted there for students, aspirant, the yogis. So they must have taken from there.
Right, Mataji. So they might have taken from our scriptures.
Yes,
Correct.
yes, I said the same.
Okay, Mataji. So finally, to summarize, knowing Krishna is the Supreme Lord and knowing our constitutional position to be the eternal servant of the Lord, and by following all these lessons, when we are endeavoring, yeah, Krishna show us the path. The last reference, Sarvasya chaham riddhi sannivisto mata smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Vedaischa sarver aham eva vedo vedantavid veda vedakrit vedavid eva chaham. Yeah. So when we are doing this endeavor, Krishna from heart, he is residing in our heart. He is saying that he will give us the knowledge, intelligence, and remembrance to progress further. So with this, sorry for taking 8 more minutes than our stipulated time. Thank you very much. Devika Mataji, you had some question, right? You can just say. And any other quick question we can take. And a couple of minutes, any key points to discuss from the class, your realization we can share, and then we'll conclude quickly. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I don't have a question, Prabhu. I've finally decided to take shelter. I'm seeking all your blessings and prayers.
Hare Bol, Mataji. This is the natural progression, Mataji. Many devotees will come to me, they will ask, what is the necessity of this taking shelter of Guru Parampara? I am practicing all the bhakti, whatever is been told, I am following 4 regulative principles, I am chanting 16 rounds. Why can't I go back? The samsara sagara is so heavy on us. It is not easy. Yes, we have a small boat on our endeavors, we are trying to row. But the intelligence is to get into a ship driven by the captain who is directly taking us to Krishna. So get into the ship and stay tight, serving the captain. We are all in safe hands. So very nice to know about it, Mataji. And I encourage all the devotees who are doing Bhakti Shastri. And yes, one point which I missed is, as per the latest instruction from Namanishta Prabhu, that all the devotees who wish to take initiation, who wish to dedicate their life in service of Guru and Gauranga, that is our purpose. We are not doing anything different. We are continuing to do what we are doing, but we are keeping Krishna and our Guru in center and doing everything. That is initiation. Yeah. To anybody to get initiation, they have to complete Bhakti Shastri. So all these while it was open for everybody, whoever is following 4 regulative principle and 16 rounds, they all getting initiation, but additional commitment is been asked to complete Bhakti Shastri. So it is important. If you want to go back to Krishna in this lifetime, you can only go back by taking the shelter of the Guru Parampara. And for that, initiation is the most important step of our life. That is not the ultimate, that is the beginning of bhakti, is what Prabhupada says. Initiation is like getting an IAS seat. What we are doing before initiation is the practice, or somebody who want to get into IITs, they want to prepare for JEE. So this practice, what you are doing is you are preparing for that to get that seat. And what is initiation? Getting IIT seat is not that you are an IITian, you have just got the seat. So all your life you have to practice bhakti to get the certificate, right? So to go back to Krishna, having got the initiation, we have to practice bhakti under the guidance of Guru Parampara, following all the instruction. That is the perfect of our life. Thank you very much.
Yes, Prabhuji, and Prabhuji, I also taken shelter under ISKCON, Bhakti Prema Prabhuji, Maharajji. Under him, I am just now devoted and serving even my service to ISKCON.
Hari Bol, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
You
Krishna.
said you have given examples for sadhana bhakti,
Yes.
and you said about raganuga bhakti. What is ragatmika bhakti then?
Ragatmika Bhakti will discuss in further module, Mataji. Anyway, in Nectar of Devotion, it is there. I have not prepared for that part of the thing. So
No,
when we
I
discuss the
wanted
next
to
module, we will
confirm that
discuss.
raganuga bhakti is under sadhana bhakti. That's it, right?
Yes, Mataji. Under Sadhana Bhakti, this is two. And a simple example I have already given. 4 regulative principle, minimum rounds of 16 rounds is like getting 35 marks. Somebody who does this for the love of the Lord to progress in Krishna consciousness, that can be considered as Raganuga Bhakti.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank
Prabhuji, I have a question that as you say in class that we have to
you.
engage
Mausami
our
Vishnu
works.
Mataji. Question?
Yes, Hare Krishna. Is
Yeah.
it audible?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I am asking that as you said that we have to do everything to as Krishna. I mean to surrender Krishna and thinking of Krishna. Everything we have to dedicate to Krishna. But I don't think that when we study actually, we don't remember Krishna that time, right? Or when we work for like job or something like working for another. For example, we are doing Excel sheet of a company, we don't remember Krishna, or studying for some science or GK or something, we don't remember Krishna. We forget that time Krishna. So every work is faded away, Prabhuji. We don't connect it to Krishna.
Yeah.
How to do this, Prabhuji?
Yeah. So this is the question, right? Yeah. So when you ask this question, some other thing thought came to me and it just went off. This is our situation. Yeah, we are not able to see Krishna. Yes, the point which I wanted to say is we all have to do our prescribed duty. What is the duty of a student? Through the prescribed duty, the karma yoga is do the prescribed duty and dedicate the results to the Lord, right? So I am not sure if you are a student. If you are a student, how you can see this as a service to the Lord is, for a student, the prescribed duty is to study, and the knowledge what you gain, you can utilize this knowledge in service of the Lord. That is what most of us are doing here. Many of the volunteers who are serving, they are utilizing their knowledge in service of the Lord. Many are doing posters, many are doing digital marketing. Yeah, we are making presentations. All these things we are engaging. Whatever we have learned in studies, we are engaging in the service of the Lord. So as a student, we need to see how we can connect that whatever this knowledge I am gaining, it is mercy that Krishna has put me in this situation. We need to see the gratitude we need to have, the mercy we need to see. There are millions and millions of people out there who are not getting basic education. At least we are in a situation, Krishna has put me in this situation where I am getting this education, and this knowledge I am going to engage in service of the Lord. And what does somebody as a professional, what they do, their job, whatever they are doing, the way I look at is there are a lot more qualified people out there who can do much better job what I am doing in my present, but by the mercy of the Lord, I am in this job and I have to do my best in my given job. And as a result, whatever results I get, I offer it to the Lord. And for example, my own practical situation, if I give you, I am into business development. And when we interact with customer, we try to get some big orders. Previously, all my endeavors is to only win that order. And we put so much of effort, so much of anxiety, go through so much of anxiety, stress to win that order. And ultimately, we win some, we lose some. It is again the mercy of the Lord. So present situation is whenever we are going into such discussions, we want to give our best. My prayers is, Krishna, it is your mercy. This is my prescribed duty and I have to do my best. And whatever the result, it could be success or failure, it is your mercy. I take it. In that mode, we are not putting that undue pressure on us. So this way, whatever we are trying to do, we are connecting to the Lord. And whatever salaries we get or whatever incomes we get, we try to dedicate some portion in charity as part of duty to give it back or to expand this more Krishna consciousness. That way, we are engaging our things in service of the Lord. Right, Mataji?
Thank you so
Hope this
much.
answers your
Yes,
question.
Ma'am. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
thank you. Already it's 20 minutes. Any further question, please text me. I will try to answer. I'm already late to my further class. Thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhasya cha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrindi ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Guru Parampara ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dhanavad pranam.
Thanks, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.